Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. With us today is Allison Pataki. Well, you know the name Pataki, Governor George Pataki's daughter, and she is a former news writer, and her work has appeared in the New York Times. She's worked for ABC News, for Fox News, well, Allison Pataki, you wrote a new book, and it's called It Girl. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. Yes, I have written my 11th book, and this is a historical fiction novel that is a real New York story. It is crime and the scandal that was known as the crime of the century, and it all revolves around this real group of people who lived in New York City and in New York at the dawn of the 20th century during the Teddy Roosevelt administration, and it's inspired by the life of Evelyn Nesbit, who was the Gibson girl. She was a showgirl. She was one of the first Broadway superstars, and she really defined this pop culture idea of the it girl, the sensational, self-made female celebrity. She was kind of the first of the kind. Before Marilyn Monroe, before Taylor Swift, there was Evelyn Nesbit, and my novel is inspired by her life story. It's titled It Girl, and it came out just this month.
So the difference between a novel and a biography is a few differences. What would you say the differences are?
Absolutely. So I love reading biography. I rely heavily on firsthand sources and biography, and in particular Evelyn Nesbit's memoirs in writing this. But then I write the story as a novel. So I write it as an invitation to readers to enter into this story in a way that hopefully feels entertaining and immersive while you learn a thing or two in the process. Hopefully, that's what a historical novel can do. It can be an entry point into history in a way that hopefully reads like page-turning fiction that will transport you into this story. Because we all want a transportive read at this point, right? Whether we're on spring break or we're traveling or we're just hunkering down waiting for spring, this will hopefully be a novel that will sweep you away to this really interesting time and place, and you'll learn a thing or two in the process.
Understood. And tell us, obviously you understood this lady and admired her. What other people? It's turning out to be a woman's world. What other people do you admire in whether it's politics or whether it's in entertainment, etc.?
Absolutely. Well, I love it. We joke that it's called Her Story, which is like the female perspective of history, and it's going back into these moments where we've learned about the history, we've learned it in school, or maybe we know the names of all the men who were there. And in the case of It Girl, with Evelyn Nesbit's story, it's going back and giving her the voice to talk about this huge moment in time. It was known as the crime of the century. It involved Stanford White, the iconic New York City architect. It involved basically the who's who of New York high society at the time. So now it's really telling Evelyn's perspective. And I loved hearing her voice and telling her story. And, I love all historical fiction that sort of lifts up kind of these forgotten voices of the past. So I've also written about Marjorie Merriweather Post. That was one of the books I wrote about, titled The Magnificent Lives of Marjorie Post. I've written Finding Margaret Fuller, which is another great New York story. A lot of it plays out in New York with this iconic woman, writer, thinker named Margaret Fuller. And I just can't get enough of it because I feel like history is the furthest thing from boring. It gives us the best raw material for storytelling, for lesson learning, for perspective, for wisdom. And I think now more than ever, it's really important that we celebrate our history and we celebrate these figures from history.
Well, we always say history repeats itself, and I really I'm a firm believer in that. And if we study history, we'll know what's coming in front of us too.
Exactly, and maybe learn from the wise examples of those who came before us.
Absolutely. And we look forward. Is the book out? Where can we buy it?
Yes, absolutely. So the title is It Girl by Allison Pataki. That's me. It's out everywhere books are sold. So your favorite indie bookseller, you can get it online. You can get it at a bookstore. And people can find me at my website, AllisonPataki.com, or they can find me on social media, all the places like Instagram, Facebook. It's just Allison Pataki. And I'm traveling all over the country and touring and talking about this book. So I hope readers will check out It Girl.
Well, I look forward to having a book party for you in New York City, and look forward to seeing you and your dad. And God bless you and God bless America.
That would be fun. I think you have a few It Girls in your family, so we can have an It Girl party for the book.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
I guess you'll talk to my daughter for sure.
I think that we should make this happen. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know what they say. Early bird gets the ultimate vacation home. Book early and save over $120 with Vrbo. Because early gets you closer to the action. Whether it's waves lapping at the shore or snoozing in a hammock that overlooks, well, whatever you want it to. So you can all enjoy the payoff come summer with Vrbo's early booking deals. Rise and shine. Average savings $141. Select homes only.